Hello and welcome to a humble Highland home. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I've been looking at the different growing spaces that we have available to us to grow in for this year. And I thought about this edge of the driveway, which gets all day sunshine, when the sun is shining of course, but it does get lots of daylight. We're not really ready for any permanent structures or growing spaces here, as it still all needs to be cleared and a little more thought put into it. So I'm going to use relocatable raised beds, which don't need a lot of work to set up and get them ready to plant. Our bins will eventually go over here once we've moved all the stones. And can anybody remember my gorgeous little veggie shack that I used to have at the side of the road? Well, unfortunately, it took a tumble into the burn when we had a storm. And so when we took it out and assessed it, it turned out that it's all rotten. So it's waiting on this pile here to either be burnt, or I'm going to pull some of the wood off that we can use for other projects. But what a shame. We'll just add it onto the list of things that we need to do. And it's like most things around here. We can't do one thing without it having an impact on another. But that's all videos for future days. I normally would have liked to have cleared all this area, including the wood and the branch pile underneath the blue tarp, and get access to the stones underneath as we need them to finish off the garden steps. But for now, I just want to get as much growing space as I can to use this year. At least whilst I'm working on this bit, it gives me a chance to pick up the rest of the pine cones, which we use for various things, including drying them for fire starters, and also a couple of bags of organic matter, which will either go into the raised beds or they'll go into the compost. Every resource is a valuable resource, so I'm pulling the stones back into the driveway and exposing the bare earth where the planters will go. I'm digging into the banking here a little bit, so hopefully the planters won't get knocked by vehicles or wheelbarrows or get in the way of us working on the branches underneath the tarp. But hey, they're bound to get a few dints along the way. But that's where stories come from when you're around a campfire. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you will see that we normally like to use what we have before buying anything. We like to recycle our woods and use the rocks, which we have got an abundance of here. But this time I've bought 4 metal container beds that I can fill and plant now. We will also have to plan in that we will need to move these planters when we eventually have the 2 trees taken down, which will hover above them, but that's not going to be in the next year. And I want to grow some annuals here, and eventually I will do more with the edge of the burn, as it does get a lot of sunshine, and I want to work with Mother Nature with that. It's also going to be interesting to see just how much I can grow in these spaces. And as I've said in many videos before, that any new gardeners out there, the best time to grow a garden was years ago, but the next best time is today. And I would really encourage you to start where you are and use what you have now. You don't need a great big garden, just use what you have. Adam put 2 of the containers together for me, which he reported were very easy to put together, but they kept him out of mischief for a couple of hours. And the following day, it's over to me to get them in place and to fill them up. Now, to keep the costs low and to use what we have, I'm going to be filling these containers using the same method of Hugelkultur that I use when I'm rebuilding the growing spaces in the garden or making a Hugelkultur mound. We have got a few piles of very rotten logs around the garden, which will be perfect at the base of the raised beds to fill them up, to act as a sponge to soak up the water, and to slowly add nutrients as the logs decompose. There are no bottoms to these containers, so we've got direct access to the bare ground, and I've removed the larger stones and I've added a layer of cardboard just to act as a weed suppressant. On top of the cardboard, I'm adding the rotten logs that I picked up earlier. I have split some with an axe as I don't want them to take up too much space, just in case they interfere with anything that I might want to grow. For example, if I decide to grow carrots in here, I don't want the carrots to hit the logs as they're growing. On top of the rotten logs, I'm also adding a layer of leaves that I'd bagged up last year, and I could add some wood chip or any other organic matter, even better if it's aged. In the wheelbarrow here, I collected and sieved some soil from the garden. I've got some sand, some older leaf mould, some old wood chip, and some homemade compost. And then the icing on the cake will be a nice thick layer of shop-bought compost mixed in with my own homemade compost, and that's what we will plant directly into. The compost levels will drop as everything rots down, but I can just top it up as and when we need it. Or if we need to move the container, I can follow the same process once again once we've got it re-established. But hopefully by then this area will be clear and we'll have all 4 of these raised bed containers in place and ready to grow in. Adam has just reminded me that our cats will be very much drawn to these containers, so I will keep them covered to avoid any surprises until it's time to plant them up. I like to think that growing in these raised beds are just an extension to the various ways that I grow in containers. We just have to be a little inventive at times. Now that these beds are ready to go, my thoughts turn to what I would like to plant in there. So I think I might have to plant a few more seeds yet. But for now, thank you so much for joining me here today. Take care of yourself and others, and I'll see you in the next video.